Well, I'm Grace, Sarah's sister, and I'm very excited about this day. When I was born, Sarah was about 10 years old, so we're 10 years apart, and she's been an awesome sister. But one of the things I most highly value is how she really discipled me when I was little. And I remember when I was 8, she left on a trip, so she was 18, and she didn't want me to get behind on my memorizing. And so she put together this whole package of surprise packages for me to open. So every day when I finished my memorizing, I could open the package with the candy and puzzle piece. And when I was 10, she invited me to this special little club called Attach, where we would meet together, just the two of us, and have a Bible study and talk about life and growing in the Lord. And she just had such an interest in my spiritual growth. And many older, because of that 10-year age gap, she was in her older teens, and so she could have thought that just spending time with me, I was just a child, didn't seem like that important. But because she did invest in me, it changed my life. I remember when I was 12, Sarah, I have my journals I can look back on where I just started journaling just like she did, where I would put a little box for my Bible reading, prayer, meditation, memorization, just like her, where I could check it to hold yourself accountable to do those things. And Sarah taught me music lessons. She spent so much time with us. It was the highlight of our lives. Well, a huge highlight for Stephen and I when Sarah would play Legos with us. When we were 8 and 11, but she was 18, but she would take time to play, or she would play in the neighborhood with us once in a while with the neighbor kids. We'd have these big hide and seek games, and on one of those occasions, I remember her sharing the gospel with one of the neighbor girls, and I was just listening, but it was, she was explaining how no one can get to heaven on their own because the standard is perfection and no one's perfect. And that's why we need Jesus and forgiveness. And I, at the time, I learned so much just by listening to Sarah have these discussions, learn from her example about witnessing in the neighborhood. And she had so many ideas for us to do together, ministry ideas. When I became a teenager, we really became closer friends, and we would talk about everything, and I was just so eager for her to get married and have Prince Charming come along because I knew that's what she wanted very much. And so it was often hard for her waiting for so long, but I really learned a lot from her response to the wait, by her joy in it, her diligence in ministry, and how her eternal perspective was what brought so much peace and comfort. And how she would say, do Corrie ten Boom and Amy Carmichael and other Christian women who remain single their whole life, do they look back from heaven and wish that if only they had gotten married while they were here on earth? Well, no, that's silly. Obviously, they're in Jesus' presence. All that mattered was pleasing Jesus. And thinking from that perspective, we realize our lives here are so short. And what matters is just what the Lord has for us and what we do for Him. But when I learned about Andrew, I was very excited about this possibility. So I was praying fervently that he would pursue Sarah. And when Sarah got an email from him, I was so excited. I was just jumping up and down on the inside. And I've been excited to watch your relationship. I'm excited to have Andrew for brother-in-law because I think there's a lot I can learn from him. I've already just been really blessed by, for one thing, watching his response to the back pain that he has and seeing his giving perspective and how much he is a giver in so many ways, how he treats people, his affirmation for people. And I'm excited to see what God has for Sarah and Andrew together. And Andrew, a couple pointers for you about Sarah. Well, one, I'm super happy for you. Sarah is like probably one of the most, if not the most patient people I know, and so loving. She does often have a lot of ideas that she likes, not just for herself to do, but for other people to do. And sometimes those ideas are more work than they initially seem. So if Sarah invites you to write a book with her, just think twice before you commit. And if Sarah wants to tie a toilet paper roll around your nose to be her dog in the skit, it's okay to say no. And I am super excited for you guys. I can't wait to see what God's gonna do together as he uses you as a team.